And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, listen now, because ye believe me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. All right? Excuse me. You're not going to bring them over. Moses, Aaron, you guys are not going over. All right? This is repeated. Deuteronomy chapter 1. Okay, Moses is talking. Verse 37. Okay, Moses. Also, the Lord was angry with me for your sakes, saying, Thou shalt not go in thither. But Joshua the son of Nun, which standeth before thee, he shall go in thither. Encourage him, for he shall cause Israel to inherit it. Okay, and then, just for emphasis, last chapter of Deuteronomy. All right, Deuteronomy 34, verse 1. And Moses went up from the plains of Moab unto the mountain of Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, that is over against Jericho. And the Lord showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan. Listen to this. The Lord showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan, and all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah unto the utmost sea. Okay? And the south, and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, unto Zor. And the Lord said unto him, This is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto thy seed. I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not go over thither. You're not going over, right? You're not crossing the river Jordan to bring them, and you're not going to see it. And Moses asks him to see it, and God is like, no. All right? So, don't worry, I'm going somewhere. This is a good nugget for you guys. Now let's go back to Numbers. I told you we were spending a lot of time in Numbers. Numbers chapter 21. Okay. This, for some context, this is the Israelites. This is the time period during which the Israelites are roaming in the wilderness. Right? They refused to go in the land, and so now they're roaming for the 40 years in the wilderness. But Moses already struck the rock, right? Because this is chapter 21. Moses struck the rock in chapter 20, in this previous chapter. Okay, so keep that in mind. Moses already struck the rock, and God says you're not going into the land. So, chapter 21 now, after Moses has struck the rock. Now let's start in verse 21. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, Let me pass through thy land. We will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards. We will not drink of the waters of the well, but we will go along by the king's highway until we pass thy borders. Okay? And Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through his border, yada, yada, yada. But Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness and came to Jahaz and fought against Israel. And Israel smote him with the edge of the sword, and possessed his land from Arnon unto Jabbok, even unto the children of Ammon, for the border of the children of Ammon was strong. And Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all the villages thereof. For Heshbon, okay, that's all we need to read right now, right? Emphasis on, and Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, right? In Heshbon, tells you, it's very specific, telling you, right? And in all the villages thereof. Okay, Moses is with them. Now we go to just a few verses down. Thus Israel dwelt in the land of the Amorites. And Moses sent to spy out Jazer, and they took the villages thereof, and drove out the Amorites that were there. And they turned and went up, yes, that's the same word, by the way of Bashan. And Og, the king of Bashan, went out against them, he and all his people, and to the battle of Edrei. And the Lord said unto Moses, Fear him not, for I have delivered him into thy hand, and all his people, and his land. And thou shalt do to him as thou didst unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, which dwelt at Heshbon. So they smote him, and his sons, and all his people, until there was none left him alive, and they possessed his land. Okay? Well, what does this mean? Why are you reading this to us, Israelite? Where's the nugget? If the land is where they say it is, right? If we have been told because they said they found this and they found that, and they've been able to pinpoint a lot of these locations conveniently. They've been able to pinpoint a lot of these locations within, a margin of error, but here they are. God says Moses doesn't enter the land. He doesn't cross over Jordan. Let me show you a map. That map we actually didn't use very much, but we should maybe we should have, but it's okay. Here's a map of the land of Canaan, ancient Canaan. Here, I can't zoom in anymore, so you have to follow my cruiser. Here is Heshbon. Sihon, king of Heshbon. There's Heshbon right here. This is where they say the kingdom of Ammon was. There's Heshbon, right there, where my cruiser is. And then going up to Bashan. There's where they say Bashan is, where they beat up Og, Moses being with them. Can any of you spot the problem? Going once, going twice, you're correct. Right here is the River Jordan. Right there is the River Jordan. Right there is the River Jordan. So Moses, even though God said you're not entering the land, even though God said you're not going over, Moses, you are not going over this River Jordan. Joshua's going to do it. Moses, I lied. Actually, go on over on this side of Jordan, on the far side of Jordan, beat up Og, or Sihon, king of Heshbon, and then go up, Moses, along this. So go up anyways, right? Go up behind on the far side of the River Jordan and beat up Og at Bashan. But then, Moses, you can't go in the land. After that, you can't go in. Also, notice where they have some of these lands here, right? On this far side. So on Heshbon, right? Where Heshbon is, and then Bashan. Excuse me. You pass through what then became Gilead, Gad, Manasseh, right? All right, that's what you pass through. What did God show Moses? He showed him, right? And God showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan. Gilead? Why would he need to show him Gilead? Excuse me, if he had to go up past Gilead, where they say it is, to get to Og and Bashan. What is going on? God, did God lose his mind? Did God forget where these things were? God, what's going on? Showed him Gilead, right? Unto Dan and all Naphtali and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, right? All right, Jericho as well. So there's Manasseh, but he would have had to pass through Manasseh, what became Manasseh, to get to Bashan. You see what's going on here? Do you see how this does not make sense? Do you see how this does not make sense? Not to mention, how do I put this? In order for this to make any sense, well, it doesn't make sense, but remember they were supposed to compass the land of Edom, not go. Edom refused them passage. So either Moses, they went through the land of Edom anyways, and then through the land of Moab anyways. Mind you, God said, you guys can look this up, God said, do not bother with the Moabites. Excuse me, I've given them their possession. Leave the Moabites alone. Don't bother with the Moabites. He goes up through Moab anyways. Okay, so he would have had to go this way if he was to go to Sihon and all that, and they would have also had to go through Edom. But Edom refused them passage. So what are they doing? Why would they go through those? Or they would have had to go this way, and I'll pull up the other map in a second. They would have had to go this way, right? Where the Salt Sea is, go up on the western side, go up this way. But then they would have had to cross Jordan to get to this stuff. Because they beat Sihon first and then Og. So either they came up through this way on the western side, crossed Jordan and went down and beat up Sihon, and then went up and beat up Og, or else they came up through on this side, on the eastern side, through the land of Moab and through the land of Edom, which both refused them passage.